Week 2 of high school football in Washington was one for the books, and I couldn't think of a better game to go to than a matchup between not one, but two defending state champs. The Lake Stevens Vikings, coming off back-to-back 4A state titles, hosted the number 1 ranked team in the state and last year's 3A state champs Bellevue High School. Lake Stevens is led by the number 1 ranked quarterback in the state, Colton Matson, who won Player of the Year last year in Washington. They also have 3-star running back Jashawn Lamar, who is one of the top running backs in the state, so between those two playmakers, this offense is tough to slow down. They started the season 0-1, however, coming off a tough overtime loss against Sumner High School, who is proving to be one of the top teams in the state this year. Hungry for a win at their home field, Lake Stevens would come ready to play. Bellevue is an all-around powerhouse with talent across the board. They have the best O-line in the state, led by Oregon commit Dimitri Manning and USC commit Willie Washer, which helps sets up their creative wing T offense. They run the ball as good as any team in the state with 3 running backs that all have D1 offers. They also have an elite defense led by the number 1 safety in the state, Bryce Smith, and are coming off a huge Week 1 win against Bethel. Bellevue received the ball to start the game, and they quickly got the ball in the hands of their star running backs. They couldn't get much going on their first drive, however, forcing them to go for it on 4th and short. Lake Stevens made a good stop on 4th, so it was their turn to try and get the offense going. 3-star quarterback Colton Matson quickly moved them down the field, making a couple nice passes to get them into the red zone. 3-star running back Jashawn Lamar then had a nice run up the middle to put them on the 3-yard line, picking up a first down, and they would go right back to him on the next play. Oregon commit Dimitri Manning had a nice stop on defense for Bellevue, bringing up 2nd down and goal for Lake Stevens. On 2nd down, Matson scrambles and finds Cannon Kennard for the 3-yard score, putting Lake Stevens up 7 after the extra point. On the kickoff, Ryken Moon, the son of Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon, had a nice return for Bellevue, setting them up with good field position to get the drive started. Then on the first play of the drive, Max Jones finds a huge gap set up by Bellevue's dominant O-line and takes it 62 yards to the house, but it was called back due to a block in the back. They still picked up 20 yards on the play and got right back to what they do best, which is running the football. Ryken Moon had this tough run, breaking a few tackles, and on the very next play, they got into the red zone on a big run from Raylan Witherspoon. Unfortunately, Raylan, who is one of the top junior running backs in the state, hurt his knee on the play and is now out for the season. So make sure to keep him in your thoughts and prayers because this kid is a baller. Bellevue now set up to score, had 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Max Jones, one of the best running backs in the state who ran for 18 touchdowns last year in his sophomore season, then took it in for 6, tying the game for Bellevue after the extra point. Moments later, Bellevue's defense forced a quick 3-and-out, and 3-star Bryce Smith was getting shifty on the punt return, but Lake Stevens' Dylan Finney laid down a huge hit to make the stop. Bellevue continued to run the ball into the 2nd quarter, and early in the 2nd, it was Ryken Moon time. He rushes it in for 6 to give Bellevue the lead, but Lake Stevens blocked the extra point, so it was now 13-7 Bellevue. When Lake Stevens got the ball back, they continued to trust their QB, but missed out on a potential big play here. But it didn't end up mattering too much because Matson shook it off and got right back to finding his guys. Ethan Boyle made a couple huge grabs, including this 35-yard touchdown to tie the game for Lake Stevens. They converted the extra point, so now Lake Stevens led 14-13. But on the ensuing kickoff, Bryce Smith was getting shifty again, taking it 97 yards to the house. Unfortunately for Bellevue, this big play was also called back due to a flag on the play, so they would start the drive at their own 17-yard line. Right away, Max Jones got back to work with a couple good runs before taking this one 62 yards for the touchdown. But wait, you guessed it, there was another flag on the play, so the big pickup would be called back yet again. Bellevue was now forced to punt, but look at this big hit by Desmond Lloyd on the return. A couple plays into the drive, with the clock winding down in the second quarter, Matson finds Lamar for a 57-yard pickup, with Jayshon breaking multiple tackles before being pushed out at the 10. Bellevue's defense held strong on the next few plays, forcing the field goal unit to come on for Lake Stevens. They missed the kick, however, so the game headed into halftime with Lake Stevens up 14-13, and they would receive the ball to start the second half. Welcome to the halftime show. My name is Joey, and before you skip ahead to the second half, I just want to say thanks for watching the video. Make sure you like it right now because it goes a long way. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel because we got videos coming like this all season long. The second half's about to begin, but before that, let's watch the highlight of the week from another game I was at, which is from Xavier Florence, who had 2 picks in this game for Bethel High School, helping them win the game 21-7 against Emerald Ridge in week 2. Lake Stevens got the ball to start the second half, and on the first play from scrimmage, this happened. Desmond Lloyd gets a pick, setting Bellevue up with good field position and lots of momentum. Max Jones got right back to work, feasting on the ground and getting into the end zone on their second play of the drive. Bellevue then went for 2 and converted on a run up the middle from Bryce Smith, so it was now 21-14 Bellevue. Now trailing by 7, Lake Stevens knew they had to answer back, and Jayshon Lamar then went beast mode on this run, refusing to go down. Matson tried to air one out, but Kaigo Ayagi makes a huge play to get the ball back to Bellevue. Bellevue continued to run their effective wing T offense as Max Jones got them a quick first down. Then just look at this run from Ryken Moon on the next play. He runs through a guy, picking up a big first down, but a couple plays later, the Lake Stevens defense got a much-needed turnover, recovering a fumble to get the ball back with good field position. Right away, they began to feed Lamar as he quickly moved them down the field on some good runs. He almost got into the end zone on one of them, but he was stopped short at the 1-yard line. And on the very next play, a bad snap brought them back 11 yards, making it 2nd and goal on the 12. Bryce Smith then made a good play on 3rd down, forcing a field goal attempt for Lake Stevens. The Bellevue D-line strikes again, blocking the kick to keep Lake Stevens from scoring. The game now rolled into the 4th quarter with Bellevue up 7, looking to close it out. Max Jones and Ryken Moon got right back to it, not going down easily on the ground on a couple nice pickups. Bryce Smith got right back to the shifts himself, picking up a nice gain for Bellevue to put them in the red zone. They would end up having to settle for a field goal on the drive, putting them up 24-14 with only 7.5 minutes left in the game. Bryce Smith made a couple great plays on defense to stop Lake Stevens from getting some chunk yards on their next drive, which quickly brought up a 4th down. Lake Stevens, down 10, had no option but to go for it, but they couldn't convert it, turning the ball over to Bellevue. It looked like Bellevue was going to close it out from there, but Lake Stevens stayed strong on defense and forced a 4th down themselves. They made a couple good stops, getting the ball back in their hands with one last opportunity to make something happen, and they did just that. Matson was finding guys all over the field, especially tight end Keegan Howard, who helped them pick up some big gains. Lamar then had this tough catch and run to the outside, laying on the hit stick to pick up the 1st down. On the next play, Matson scrambles right and was hit going out of bounds, so a late hit penalty was called on the play. Let me know in the comments if you think this should have been a flag. Moments later, Matson drops back and throws his 3rd touchdown, finding Seth Price, who made a nice play to get into the end zone. Lake Stevens was now down 3, but there was only 1:30 left in the game. They decided to do a pooch kick, and the game wasn't over quite yet until this happened. Who else but Max Jones takes it 78 yards up the field for his 3rd score of the day, putting him at 239 rush yards on the night. Now with only 1:15 left, Lake Stevens would need a miracle. They moved the ball down the field quite fast and ended up getting into the red zone, but Bellevue sealed the deal on this nice play from AJ Morton in the end zone. Bellevue wins the game 31-21, improving them to 2-0 on the season, proving why they remain the best football team in Washington. Thanks for watching the video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel because we got more videos coming like this all season long.